wonderful anime fans. I'm Shelby Osamu, and today we are doing chapters 69 through 71 of Bungo Stray Dogs manga and anime comparison. I'm gonna give a warning. I had to buy some of the volumes because websites that I was using to read them on were either getting spammed or there was some issue and the websites just disappeared. So I ended up buying them. I did not realize I was still on volume 16, hypothetically. So I ended up accidentally skipping a volume. So we're gonna, my bad. We're gonna ignore that. We're just gonna continue on through 69 through 71. I have pretty much all the remaining chapters or remaining volumes except for the previous one where the anime ended on. So I will be reading it actually in hand instead of a website now. Yeah. So that's my bad. But don't forget to subscribe. Check out my TikTok at Shelby.Osamu. And I have an Instagram at ShelbyOsamu24. And let's get started. His reaction.
Unlike the fool that you are, I am able to maintain my composure and grace.
So this part always is funny to me, just watching them fall just from nowhere. And his reaction I find very funny. He's like, "Oh, I'm keeping my composure." No, you're not. It's very funny though. And the panel of Kyoka, you actually kind of see Kyoka falling. You see Atsushi's head first. But I love the Atsushi always has to find a way to have his ass somewhere. Like his ass is just sticking up in the air when they fall. And the manga actually he isn't doing that at all. So like Bones just loves showing people and their asses. Really now.
Okay, fine. I know of an acupuncture point that works on stomach pain, and all it takes is a good jab 3 centimeters above the hip bone.
I'm all better!
I think she does this several other times too, of just him trying to pretend like something's wrong and then just there's really not anything wrong. Yoka's scaring the crap out of him. That part's funny. The manga's funny too. I just like that she's just, I know a pressure point or an acupuncture point where pain will go away. You'll be fine. And he's just like, "Oh, I'm all better." Like, look at me. It just continues to try to, trick them. And I'm like, Atsushi is just an innocent little bean. He's like, "Oh, what's wrong? Are you okay?" But Kyoka's just like, "Hey, I have an idea here. I'll just stab you." Are actually pretty funny too. The manga does a pretty good job here as well of just adding on there. It's very entertaining.
You'd really beg a secret government organization to believe you. The agency's jokes have never struck me as funny.
I underestimated the Special Operations Division.
Shots fired! Oh. Ow. Like Ongo kind of tricking them at first, like he's not on their side. And then all of a sudden you hear gunshots and then Atsushi is falling into the sewer and he's just like, shh. I like him tricking the division people that he has with him too of, he's actually helping them. And I like this part for Ongo because, we kind of know that he was a double agent in the Port Mafia. And we know that the connection tie-ins he had with Dazai, and he was very close with Odasaku, I think, as well. And I think his death still haunts him just as much as it haunts Dazai. Very similar, but I do like the panels, and I do like him doing the little thing. And it kind of looks like in the manga, though, the difference that I saw is that when Atsushi falls, Kyoka and the other guy fall on top of him. But the manga, it looks like they fall to the side. Like, they don't land on Atsushi. So I think maybe they just decided to add that for a little bit more humor of them landing on him, which is very funny. But the manga doesn't have them actually landing on Atsushi.
I'm Dazai's messenger while he's in a European detention center. We have a system. Dazai has the ability to encode his messages within his heart rate, which I then use my government access to retrieve and decode.
You're saying he
He's
can
so
control
weird.
how fast his heart beats?
It's the type of party trick Dazai's so good at, no one would suspect a thing.
I don't believe.
Smirk Ongo has there when he says that. He knows what Dazai is capable of, and the little smirk I love so much. So this part is mostly the same. I think I just wanted to bring it up because I like realizing how Dazai is able to communicate. He can literally adjust his heart rate and make you believe that he might make you believe he's dead, which kind of makes me wonder if that's what he does in Dead Apple. Like this part because of also the fact of Ongo, the smirk that he has of being like, this is the type of party trick that Dazai can obviously do. You know, he's just like, that's Dazai for you. The kind of slight, almost proudness too, I feel like a little bit. And the panels too is kind of the same. He does the same smirk, but it's not like the side profile of Ongo. It's kind of like forward, so you can actually see the smile that he has a little bit more. But it's still a smirk. It's a smile, it's a smirk, and I like that added too.
She barged into investigation headquarters. Atsushi's not evil. There's no way he's a murderer, she said maniacally.
Maniacally. She's so red.
Wow, that's very kind of you.
She wants Atsushi. Can we all just kind of agree on that? I love how cute she is, like determined to be like, Atsushi wouldn't kill anyone. You know, I've been sued by the Armed Detective Agency. This isn't true. And just, it's very entertaining to me of her doing that and how red and blushed and flustered she gets. It's so cute. And Atsushi's just like, that's very kind of you. Like, he's so innocent and not realizing, I think, that Lucy likes him. I don't think he fully is aware of that. And it's not surprising because it's Atsushi. He would be the innocent little one that doesn't understand.
Don't go. It was only once. 4 years ago, in order to solidify a way for Dazai to live outside the Port Mafia, I needed to erase his past crimes.
Mango.
I tried to make amends for a dear friend who is now long gone.
What Ongo did in order to make Dazai be able to live outside the Port Mafia, I loved this moment when watching it for the first time of the things that Ongo has done for him. It's like I said earlier, it's because he feels responsible for Oda's death, I think, and he knew how much Dazai meant to Odasaku, so he's trying to also make up for that. And I think Ongo cared about Dazai too, and still does now, and feels a responsibility towards him too. And the panels are pretty much the same. The biggest difference is when he says, in order to make Dazai have a life outside of the Port Mafia and to have his past crimes cleared. And you don't really see Dazai, it's just Ongo explaining that and all of them reacting. But the manga actually has a panel of Dazai back in the Port Mafia with handcuffs on. The panel's hot, first of all. It's a very attractive look on Dazai. He looks even a little beat up, too. But this is like the biggest difference, is seeing Dazai from the Port Mafia with handcuffs on during this moment. Everything else is the same.
I will! We actually did it, Kyoka!
Aw, he's so happy.
What has gotten into you?
10 days until the other side of the page is written. In other words, they can't write anything until then. But now that's not true. We'll take the page back and write that the agency is innocent of all these crimes. And that'll finally fix...
This part, the manga actually has like a moment of Atsushi just randomly cracking up laughing. And Lucy's reaction of like, oh god. And so I kind of like the manga's version of him just laughing and being like, oh, we can do this. And it's really funny moment, and Lucy's just so confused. She's confused here too, just not as confused as she is in the manga because he's just laughing his ass off. Another thing too is I feel like Atsushi is drawn different in the manga. I think he looks so adorable. He's adorable in the anime too, but he just has some type of look about him in the manga that I think is just, I don't know why. I like how he's designed in the manga. I think he's designed good in the anime. I'm not saying anything against them. Just something about the manga, Atsushi looks different to me and I can't understand why. I don't really know why.
I better take this off for today.
You idiot! What are you looking at?
So this part's very interesting to me on how different it is. When he shows up and removes his band-aid, he catches Tecchou on the, like, kind of on his, bent down on his legs looking at the ground, and he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, observing ants. He's just watching ants crawl around, and then it has Jouno and her show up, and she's crying her eyes out. So they just skip that part with Tecchou just all together, which I found very interesting because I thought it would be really funny to watch him observing ants. That would have been very interesting. And I love that hunting dogs are this like serious, badass group in Bungo Stray Dogs, but yet they are so goofy.
No training in the middle of a meeting. Perfect weight. Why do you think we haven't had any further sightings?
They must have.
This part's funny to me. Like, they're having this meeting about Decay of Angels and the Armed Detective Agency, and Jouno noticing that Tecchou is working out and doing push-ups, and he's like, no working out during a meeting. But yet he stands on top of him, interrupts the meeting just to say this to him, and ends up just being a part of his training. Like, that part's funny to me, of him doing that. I love the panels too, are funny, of him standing on top of him, and he's just like, oh, you are perfect weight for me to do this. It's very funny. Them just working out and him shirtless. I would like to see Jouno shirtless, but anyway. That shot of
What's
Fukuzawa,
making
though.
you stop?
You aren't fooling me, Fukuzawa. You were going to make me cut off your handcuffs, and then you'd swipe my own sword away from me.
Me. I like the scene for Fukuzawa. I think it was really cool. It was really smart of him too, I think. The shot of Fukuzawa too, kind of making that facial expression. The manga's good too. I kind of like that moment a little bit more in the anime's version, but both of them are good. And I like just watching the table just crumble. Like, it kind of shows the strength of a little bit of Fukuzawa too, being able to keep that table together with the handcuffs and then just dropping it. And he's like, yeah, okay, I got me. That part's funny too. And Fukuzawa rules.
Of the day, your strength is the kind that screams to the world, hey everyone, look at me, I can beat up a ton of wild boars. But the hunting dog's job is about investigating and arresting.
So what?
So based on that criteria, I am the greatest hunting dog there is.
Seriously?
I want to kill you so badly! Cafe latte.
Soy sauce latte.
Very good, gentlemen. Soy sauce.
I love these two so much. They are two of my favorite hunting dogs, and they are probably up there for me in my favorites in general. I love their banter, their back and forth. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying it. They are basically Dazai and Chuuya for the hunting dogs. They are so funny. I love them walking in and just arguing about who's the strongest hunting dog. And he's like, obviously it's me. And Tecchou's like, nah. Like, that part's really entertaining. I like how they are both drawn in the manga. I think Jouno is drawn very well in the manga. He looks really good. But they are both just so funny and entertaining to watch. They are just a hoot. But I love how Jouno is like drawn. Like, look at him. Look at this. Look at him. I'm gonna have the panels pulled up too on here, but I just wanted to talk about how cute he is. Anyway, so yeah, this scene is basically similar in the manga as it is the anime. But I find it very funny. Soy sauce latte. Does he put soy sauce in the latte? Well, that is it for chapter 69 through 71 of Bungo Stray Dogs anime manga. I normally do 5 chapters at a time, but I feel like I'm going pretty fast. And I would like to make this last a little bit longer. So I'm going to be doing 3 chapters at a time, which is what I do with Case Study of Vanitas. So that way they can kind of last a little bit longer and we can have a little bit more fun while we do this. So, I hope you guys enjoyed these chapters. I'm learning the stuff with Ongo and Dazai, the things that he's done for him. I like watching Fukuzawa and forget his name every time. That guy. Learning about those two a little, and Tecchou and Jouno are just so funny. Anytime those two are on screen, I'm excited. I love Jouno very much. So, I'm all in for when it comes to him. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and I'm happy you were here. Believe it.